You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host with the most, Kyle Gagliardi, as always, joined by my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Kyle?
Tuck, I think the world's coming to an end.
It could be, though.
So, if you've been living under a rock, all sports are canceled. Think of a sport. Name one sport.
Badminton.
Can't confirm if that's canceled or not.
Was it ever, started, though?
Is it badminton season?
When is it not?
That's a great question. I played it in gym back in the day in high school. I was pretty good at it, actually. And our special guest is shaking his head right now. We might as well introduce him while we're here. I think this is the third time. Is this third, fourth?
Yes, yeah.
OTSN glue guy, Aaron Oros.
And right when we need him, too. You know, as the layers are starting to pull apart, thank God the glue guy comes back, pulls us back together.
Yep, that's my job here. World's ending. Sports are canceled.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Vegas next week, setting the table for you right here. This is the one vacation we take every year, Tuck. And no more tournaments and no more Vegas for us.
Yeah.
Maybe the most depressing time I've ever gotten on a laptop was to cancel my Southwest flight to Vegas.
Are you going to get the money back, use it as credit?
Yeah, credit.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it for next year's Vegas flight. Unless coronavirus
Lord willing,
2.0.
knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah, unless the world's end.
Yeah.
I'm surprised your school is still, chucking away.
Right now, the theory is that the closest case is 3 counties away.
Wait, what case? Is the Avon case?
St. Joseph County.
Oh, okay.
It's up by Michigan. Yeah, it's coming. It's going to happen. We're not coming back to school after spring break. I'm telling you that right now.
When's your spring break?
So we have 1 week of school for official baseball practice, and then spring break, and then our baseball season can start. So,
well, I don't know if it's going to start. I hate to be that guy.
Indianapolis schools in the area that down there have canceled till April 6th, and the rule is they are not waiving the practice requirement. So if school starts April 6th and they have 0 practices, which we have not been able to start, April 6th they have to log their 10 practices. 10 days, not including Sundays. You can't log 2 practices in one day.
So that's at least 2 weeks.
Yep.
At least 2 weeks you'd have to wait for baseball season. We know MLB baseball pushed everything back 2 weeks. NBA is canceled. March Madness is canceled. The sports in general right now are on the hot seat. The one thing that we have for now, professional wrestling.
Right, yeah. Sounds like SmackDown's going to the Performance Center, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a riveting show. It'll probably be one of the best ones yet, honestly.
What a time. Jeff Hardy returns after a 9-month leave. That Poppy's going to get in the Performance Center
Dude,
here?
all 200 of them it's going to be sick.
Yeah, crowd's going to go wild. All the employees working there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even think they're allowing fans.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem, and I'm sure people don't want to hear it, but I'm sure WrestleMania is soon to follow.
Aaron, we're not going to talk about that right now because we are proudly a part of the Overtime Sports
The glue
Network.
guy is pulling us apart with a statement like that.
Yeah, you're the OTSN glue guy. I'm trying to get the OTSN plug in. OTSportsNetwork.com is where you can check us out. Probably not going to be a lot of sports content going on around this time, Tuck, would you say?
Yeah, go over to OTN.com, the Overtime Network, and we'll just start blogging about, other stuff, not sports stuff.
I don't think I can legally change our name by now.
Okay.
Kind of paid for everything, so we're the Overtime Sports Network, but for now, we're the Overtime Wrestling Network. Oh,
yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Where can they follow us on Twitter if they want to find our tweets or lack thereof?
If you go to @_OTSN, you'll find the Overtime Sports Network Twitter page. If you go to @PodOnTheMark, you're going to find our page. You already know that.
Yeah.
You already know that. If you go to @JimTuck89, you're going to follow myself, hopefully.
Yeah, you.
And if you want to follow Kyle, go to @TooSweetKyle.
Too sweet.
sweet. You
That's
know it.
right. That
You know
is
it.
right. Aaron, do you know about that Too Sweet Life?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what it is.
I've heard that.
Rate that Twitter handle 1 out of 10. Too Sweet Kyle. What do you think? You're gonna shit on it.
Too Sweet Kyle. If somebody didn't understand what it was,
yeah.
I mean, just imagine where their thought process is.
Yeah.
So wrestling, maybe it's okay, but
Yep.
I mean, just think of what
It's a niche.
non-wrestling
It's a
fans
niche
are
name.
thinking.
Yeah, like high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
I have that name on my TikTok. Too Sweet Kyle. Starting to lose followers there. I guess the rub's gone.
Come on now.
The TikTok rub is gone. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, I'm not even posting anything anymore. So RIP to Pothead on there.
Ooh.
Let's get the main roster here. Not much going on from SmackDown. Actually, I'm going to put this on it. Frankly, it was bad. It was really bad last week, Tuck.
Yeah, in my line of work, we would call it not good. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we're all taking sips at the same time. That's bad podcasting right
I'm
there.
not sorry for that. We after the news today. I mean, think of a sadder day, not a Saturday, a more sad day than today.
I can't think of one.
Like we all have very impactful personal things that have happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Crushing, but like putting an umbrella of just gloom over the world or the country.
I mean, we've talked about it, and this is like no disrespect. I think it's a common comparison just because of what's all going on. I mean,
Here he goes.
You know where it is. This is like 9/11 territory where the nation as a whole is just sad. And shook and doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to respond. You got this new virus that comes in, and it's just creating a panic and hysteria all around the whole world. Yeah, this is something no one alive has seen before, and all we can do is just maximize what we can and
record wrestling podcasts.
Record wrestling
You won't
podcasts
forget
while
it.
it's still around.
You're not going to forget the day that the sports world stopped.
No, you're not.
The entire sports world just hit the pause button.
Yep.
March 12th, 2020, the day that we all died a little bit.
Or
on the
12/20. Yeah, a little bit of us. And, I do think it's wild from a baseball standpoint. They canceled the College World Series in June on March 12th.
Wait, they actually did that? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
All winter and spring championships have been canceled. Not postponed, not delayed. How do you pull back from a cancel,
They
by the way?
canceled baseball seasons. Like,
How do you have the Olympics now at this point? They haven't even said anything about the Summer Olympics.
People are asking.
I mean, no, I know Japan isn't as bad, and I know that they've kind of been on top of this early, like Korea and China have been, but I don't know how you can convince all these people from different countries, and I don't know if you want all those people from different countries coming. I think they'll postpone it. Now, when does it start? July?
Yeah, it go like end
Usually
of
a
July
later thing.
runs into August.
As you guys have seen, this stuff changes like literally by the hour. So who knows? A couple months from now, maybe we'll have this contained. Like I know China has already started sports up.
China.
I knew it.
They've already started just because their rates have gone down. It
I knew
seems
you were
like
gonna
they've
say
gotten this under control,
Yeah.
or at least as much as they can. This is going to be one of those things where I think it's just going to become daily life like the flu. It's just going to be something that you get, but I think eventually we'll be able to combat it like we do the flu. But, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so all we can do is wait and see.
Wait and see.
We aren't a political podcast or a sports podcast, but when things like that happen, sometimes you got to discuss it, Tuck. But
How are you just going to turn, hit the play button or hit the record button and not acknowledge it?
that's like a couple weeks ago when Goldberg won the Universal title. We're just not going to not talk about that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
it's
Sorry,
gonna-
I had to bring that up,
I
too.
mean, it's going to have a direct impact to wrestling. So
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about Sunday. The Elimination Chamber happened. First off, I just want to say I think the first half of Elimination Chamber wasn't a bad pay-per-view. I actually enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the back half for me that fell off. What do you think, Tuck?
Well, as you get older, the back half does fall off, from what I've heard. But overall, I graded it like a B minus. Like
Not bad.
I was going in 7.5, 8. I was going in at a 2.
Excitement
And,
level, yes.
Lucha House Party. I'm just going to put that out there.
Lindsay Dorado's spot from the top of the cage.
They took advantage of an opportunity, right? And I think there is room. I don't want every pay-per-view to be like that.
No.
Most should not be. But it does go to show that you can still put on a good show if the wrestling's good.
And I thought the wrestling when the first match, Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan. I mean, that's about as textbook as you can get from a grappling and wrestling standpoint. It makes me wonder, like, these guys like Gulak and Ali and Cedric Alexander that were quote-unquote cruiserweights.
Yeah.
You keep giving them a little bit of the shine, they're starting to get over. Ali was starting to do it. Ali's spot at WrestleMania was supposed to be what Kofi had a couple years ago.
Really?
Like, they saw something in Ali. You keep giving these guys these shots, like Gulak. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it, but Aaron, what were your overall thoughts on Elimination Chamber?
I think, and it's WWE's fault, but I think that they put themselves in the situation where it's this filler pay-per-view before WrestleMania where we already have and I like that they started feuds early for WrestleMania because I know Kyle and I have always criticized them for starting feuds like way too late. I like when they give time to let these things build for WrestleMania. So we already have a good idea of what these matches are going to be. So you have Elimination Chamber where you kind of know who's going to win for the most part because it'll lead into WrestleMania. But I thought it did its job. I would agree. As the pay-per-view went on, toward the end, it kind of got bad. I mean,
the Women's Chamber, I just think, was on the wrong spot on the card. I get the booking.
Agreed.
You make Shayna look strong. She's waiting for people because she's dominating so much. But if you kick off the show with that, or you close with the SmackDown Tag Team Chamber match, which was really good.
Yeah, you put the Tag Team Chamber match. Before the match, you would have questioned the booking. Why wasn't the women's match first? But if that same exact women match kicks off the show, then you're like, well, okay, it happened. You almost look forward to the tag team match, hoping it would be better. It almost gives you a little bit more luster on it. So I thought I was pleased.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have kicked it off with that because I know we always talk about they like kicking off pay-per-views. I mean, kick it off with a match when the crowd's energized, they're ready to go for a match that you might not normally anywhere else in the card see a really good reaction. We all knew Shayna was going to win this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was inevitable.
Her odds were probably like minus 10,000 in the sports books.
Right, and and to be honest, there was really nobody in there with her that...
Maybe Asuka.
Maybe, but I mean, they made Shayna look strong. That was the whole process of it because, and we'll get to that later because I think that they're going to give her a big push, but they needed her to look strong. She looked strong. They should have let off the pay-per-view. That tag match was electric, but overall, I mean, it was relatively good for... expectations-wise, I think it exceeded expectations.
Yeah. Slightly. I would say maybe slightly. And it was interesting to see a title change hands with Sami Zayn. I really didn't see that coming. The new Intercontinental Champion.
And him of the three to be the one that gets it. But,
if you ask me.
So, do you think Braun gets the belt back? Or what kind of match do you think they're setting up here for WrestleMania, maybe?
I don't know that Braun's going to get it back right away, but now it does kind of put the Sami Zayn, Braun Strowman. Sami Zayn's been able to avoid him, and he even makes out with the title from it. I don't know. I like Sami Zayn as a wrestler, though.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler.
No, he deserves this.
Wrestle. Let
Aaron,
him
you
wrestle.
were ripping Sami Zayn weeks ago.
I hate his current
situation
thing that he's got going on. I hate it. I'm just saying him personally because I know him and other, when he's a face or other personas, like he deserves it because he is a really good wrestler. Now, I don't like what he's got going on right now, and I still don't like it, but I'm happy that he at least got a title. It's weird, though. Braun gets it and then just loses it like that. This is a guy that they built big time for a long time. It seemed like they invested a lot in Braun just for him to keep losing.
They just I think they just wanted to get a belt on him, start building a resume. Because there was not much of a resume to begin with. And I mean, we're in 2020 now, and Braun Strowman's only won a tag team championship and a intercontinental
with a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
No, he won. Did he win the titles? Okay,
yeah, he did. Yeah. You're right.
I mean, I hope it leads to
that is true.
I hope it leads to a ladder match at WrestleMania because I always think those are so entertaining. I mean, everyone they have, either if it's for the IC title, I think it's always for the IC title.
Yeah. No, there was a US one too.
They're all great. So I don't know if that's where it goes. I hope it does, but we'll see what happens. But I was pretty surprised to see him win and Braun lose that real quick.
Yeah.
And as we head into WrestleMania, the one storyline I'm really clamoring for is, can Riddick Moss keep the 24/7 title?
Good point.
What a guy. He did that for a little bit, and then there's the.
Speaking of football, how about Gronk getting a deal with the WWE?
Riddick Moss versus Gronk?
That shit sells.
Honestly, I could have seen him showing up at WrestleMania
winning the 24/7 title.
Yeah, exactly. Now they had advertised him for SmackDown. Is he still going to be on SmackDown?
It's a good question. He was advertised, I believe, either this week or next week to be on. But
we
might be fucked in a couple weeks going to Chicago.
I've thought about that. Not going to be great.
It's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Frame the ticket, the flu game ticket right there.
We're going to get our money back.
I had Purdue baseball tickets for the raffle.
Oh, good
this weekend to raffle off.
You should still give them away.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Again, those are like $10 tickets. It's not a big deal, But I got White Sox tickets. I'm trying to raffle off. We'll see about that.
Yeah, who knows when they're going to play? Everything's up in the air right now.
It's weird.
It's very weird. But on Monday Night Raw, we would see the return of Edge, which was nice. He would get his retaliation on Randy Orton hitting the RKO after he RKO'd his wife Beth Phoenix the week before. Destroys MVP with a couple chair shots. What did you think of this segment? Was Edge coming back too strong after such a massive attack?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see an ounce of anything from RKO just shattering his 9-time repaired disqualified ass neck. That's all I got. That's just what I'm you get behind it a little bit, but then when you try to put it through that filter of like, is it logical? Does it super make sense? Not really.
I mean, I'll be honest, and I think this feud, at least what they've built up to it so far, has been phenomenal.
I would say it's still the best feud going right now. To WrestleMania.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
I would totally agree. I despise everything that they've done at this point. So one, I don't like the fact that they advertised Edge because all they did for weeks was talk about how his career's over, like that Randy ended his career.
Yeah.
And so it's like he should be in like some fragile state, and we should be at least they should be trying to convince the audience that he's not coming back, even though smart wrestling fans know this is what this is leading to.
Yeah, we're in that area now.
But at the same time, it should have at least been that. And then they advertise him. It's like, really? Okay.
There goes the surprise factor.
Yeah. And then he comes back, and it's like nothing happened to him. And it like literally makes no sense to me. And then, to be honest, and you guys can correct me, I have no idea why MVP was involved.
I think they just needed a guy to be like the Matt Hardy of the situation because they did the same thing to Matt.
So, like, is Randy have some sort of connection to MVP? Because why would Randy care?
And they have history. I mean, they wrestled in the same era, but I know MVP's now not in a role of wrestling. He's just doing backstage stuff. So they probably just needed a sacrificial lamb for the segment.
So if you ask me, what I think they should have done is they should have milked this more.
I wasn't asking you, but all right.
Okay, well.
Got him.
Yes, I'll tell you anyway. I think they should have gone one more week. They should have brought out Christian.
Yeah.
And Edge's best friend and have Randy take him out. And then, unexpectedly Edge show up. Now, I don't know if Vince is just doing this because he needs the ratings. And he has to advertise a guy like Edge, like here, he's going to be on this
Stone Cold being advertised for Monday, but who knows if that even show's going to go on without a hitch?
Probably won't. I still think they'll make this feud great, but I wasn't a fan of how they've executed Edge's return.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there.
Here's my other thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the glitch?
What do you mean?
No, you guys haven't seen the other.
Oh, and SmackDown you talking about?
Yeah,
oh.
I know. That's
I think it's Ali.
I think so too.
That's my guess.
Ali as well.
Yes, but I read a fan theory about Kushida.
What are they going to do with Kushida?
Would you pipe him up like that though?
I don't think he's that big yet because they haven't done a good job in NXT building him.
Yeah.
So, am I really going to get excited to see flashes of Kushida?
Yeah.
I don't. I'd be more intrigued with Ali maybe come back with a heel persona.
Ooh.
He kind of just, the I don't give a fuck attitude and he just goes for it all.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. What?
I don't give a fuck, bitch. I don't give a fuck about sports because they're not happening.
Yeah. You know what might not be happening, though, is WrestleMania.
Oof. Tough.
No, for real.
We're being dead
for
serious.
Real, not going to happen.
So they met today in Tampa. Vince was there.
Will they put both titles on the coronavirus?
Oh, that'd be a Vince thing.
Nobody's been more over right now than the coronavirus.
Right. From what I understand, I follow a couple insiders on Twitter, and from what I understand, they're going to make a decision here in a week.
Oh, no.
And they said WWE. They said the people it takes like 3 weeks to set up WrestleMania. So therefore. If they make the decision in a week and you need a 3-week period, that means they're going to have to make the final decision right then and there. So there's going to be no room after that to discuss. So that decision is going to be made right then and there. I mean, if we're going to get into it, I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen.
So you say it won't. Tuck, do you think WrestleMania is going to happen, or are we going to postpone this?
I think it'll
empty arena.
June, July. They will not go empty arena for WrestleMania.
No, you
0%.
You can't. You can't.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
In a story-driven, product like we're getting, how do you drag out stories for 8, 12, 16 more weeks to make them compelling at WrestleMania? You almost flip some of those stories at the next pay-per-view and hit the reset button, or what?
You might just have to go into the complete reshifting of all the pay-per-views and go into an off-season. Just call it the quote-unquote WWE off-season because of the virus, and everybody just takes that time off, and we jump right back into everything that we were doing.
Maybe creative comes up with new things to throw in, but what's the point of having these small little shows trying to build these feuds for however long? Because
at the PC,
right? Because we don't know when WrestleMania is going to be. It could be in 1 month, it could be 2 months, it could be in 3 months. You have no idea. So what's the point in just doing that? I think Kyle, I've heard what Kyle said. They have an off season. They just done. Maybe you could do NXT still, just because they're already used to performing in front of a small crowd. It seemed to go okay at the Performance Center Wednesday. So
but there was still 200, 300, there was X amount of people there.
Yeah.
What kind of show do you get filming a SmackDown with nobody there? You can't. You can't cut a promo?
We're supposed to get Cena. We're supposed to get Jeff Hardy. Like, you're getting these big moments on SmackDown in the Performance Center.
Well, and who are you going to cut a promo to? The viewer, without getting any kind of pipe or any kind of call out or any.
It's literally practice. Like, what they do, they cut promos in an empty arena.
Well. Yeah, and if you watch, highlights back in the day, like we've been watching all these Ruthless Aggression stuff, if you watch the highlights, like in OVW and stuff, they cut the promos to the camera, is what it honestly seems like. So that's what you would be doing, which I don't think you're going to be able to sell. I don't know. It's a tough spot. I mean, this is uncharted territory. We've never had something like this happen. So
imagine being Vince McMahon right now. Like, how? Because your XFL just got shit on.
Yeah.
And now WrestleMania is in jeopardy. Like, how stressful is that man's life right now? A lot more stressful than ours.
I mean, the only thing. The only thing that he could put his hat on is all his competition, sports-wise, is in the same boat. It's not like he's going to get beat out by anybody.
AEW just announced they're going to a closed arena in Jacksonville. When I mean closed to the public of fans and all that.
Does blood and guts happen? I don't know. It's not that far away.
We were watching Dynamite this week, and we're like, I don't know.
I don't think you could bank on anything in April happening. I don't think you can.
Well, you mean March?
No, I say still in April. I say March and April. I think.
Jesus.
Because I would say today, last couple
no,
days.
Thank you.
Jesus. Well, that's what it's going to. I mean, I would say the last couple days have been the starting point. I think they got to give it at least a month.
Yep.
That's depressing.
And then you don't know what's going to happen. And then you'll have to reevaluate them. What if it's gotten worse, which a lot of people see it's gonna, and then you just don't know. You have no idea.
I'm seeing rumblings on the internet that all this, fiasco with the coronavirus and everything, it could be the return of Chris Benoit.
We're not following all the same people, I don't think.
Wait, you didn't see that report?
No, we might.
Ryan Satin reported it on Twitter.
No, I don't.
Not a big Benoit guy?
Return of Benoit.
Not a big fan of your dead jokes guy.
Not a big fan of the dead jokes guy. All right. We'll move on to Wednesday Night Wrestling because there wasn't really much from the main roster. We hit on the big things that happened. Want to go with NXT first, or we want to go to AEW? It's up to you.
NXT.
All right, we're going to NXT. The show kicked off this week with the North American champion, Keith Lee. He'd be taking on Cameron Grimes for the North American Championship. Tucky, what'd you think of this?
They made Cameron Grimes look decently smart. Had some good spots where he didn't look like a chump, I was okay with it. I just the takeaway I got from it was like they do kind of care about Cameron Grimes. They gave him a title shot, and there were spots where he was able to work out of some situations that not everybody would. So yeah, okay.
I thought it was solid. Yeah. I mean, there was nothing to write home about. I'm not going to be like, oh, did you see that spot in that Cameron Grimes Keith Lee match? No, but it was good. And afterwards, after Keith Lee retained, Damian Priest would come out, attack Keith Lee, followed by Dominik Dijakovic, who was trying to virtually save Keith Lee because Dominik Dijakovic is now a babyface. And then after that, Keith Lee would powerbomb Dominik Dijakovic.
Right, yeah. The commentators made the play on, like, maybe he didn't know it was him. But come on.
Is this setting up for a triple threat for TakeOver Tampa, Aaron? Is that what we're thinking here?
That would be my guess. I mean, the match in and of itself, it was one of your classic title match, but you know the guy's going to retain. You just try and make the guy, whoever's going against him, look pretty good. But yeah, that was very interesting because the whole Keith Lee Dijakovic thing is kind of interesting.
They just keep going with it.
Yeah, and I
don't hate it.
Can you blame him because the matches have been great?
Yep.
I mean, I understand, and I love Keith Lee. I think he's got superstar written all over him.
And we saw Damian Priest in a triple threat at War Games with Killian Dane and Pete Dunne. You put him in a triple threat with two guys that have already, tore the house down multiple times.
Yeah.
Could steal WrestleMania weekend if there is one.
Yeah.
I feel like we got to keep throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Man, I'd be bummed because takeovers are so good WrestleMania weekend too, and a match like Damian Priest, Keith Lee, and Dominik Dijakovic, that would tear the house down. But
yeah, no doubt.
We might not see that, but hey, we're going to be optimistic for now and say we will see that at TakeOver Tampa, but that's how they kicked up. What?
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I thought you said wait, like we lost connection again.
Oh, no, we're good.
We're good. We are live.
But people don't know that happens.
Oh, it happens. It's all 15 of you that are listening right now, we have technical difficulties sometimes.
Often.
Mainly every show. Tucky, you want to introduce this ladder match qualifying match?
Yeah, the ladder match qualifying match. We had, was that the tag match?
That was a tongue twister.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Nope, Glue Guy's going to take that for us.
Take over here at Dakota Kai versus...
You're going to have to refresh.
I didn't see that.
Watching it, you're going to have to refresh me.
Wait, you watching this live, Tuck?
No, I got the shortened Hulu version of it.
All right, so this match was with Dakota Kai and Mia Yim.
I wish they were given a little more time, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I don't know why Mia Yim won. That was going to ask that. Was that like expected? Because
no.
Dakota, she's on fire.
She would seem like the perfect candidate to win that match.
And they just gave her some muscle.
Yeah.
She just took care of Tegan Nox.
Yep.
I was just confused by why she won that.
I was too.
Didn't win that.
And the two have chemistry between Yim and Dakota Kai going back to War Games where, they had that incident to take out her spot in the match. The match itself was relatively short. Crowd was behind Mia Yim. Gonzalez was doing her, typical heel stuff on the outside. A distraction throughout pretty much the whole match. But the reason Mia Yim gets the win here is because she did it one too many times. And then Mia Yim hits the code breaker on Dakota Kai. And it's just shocking. Because right now we have Chelsea Green and now Mia Yim. And we'll find out later Tegan Nox is going to be in that ladder match. But wouldn't you think we need a heel in there? Dakota Kai?
Yeah.
Why is she not in that ladder match? Is she going to find a way in it?
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. She's kind of sneaky.
I mean, yeah, you just have Gonzalez beat the crap out of someone
Well, she did after the match to Mia Yim.
Well, yeah, it could be anybody. I mean, you just don't know. But that really, to me, that made no sense to me whatsoever. Just because you had her beat Tegan Nox twice.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you give her the muscle, you give her the backing, you would think that this has...
She could be next in line.
All written all over it.
Yeah.
Or at least getting a shot, and she loses. It was just so confusing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very, very questionable. Wasn't a bad match, but Mia Yim, she's going to be in that ladder match, which should be a good one.
NXT's always usually really good with booking, too, so they might have something planned.
Yeah.
I feel like they do a very good job of taking titles off people at the right time, getting the right people involved, so you never know.
Yeah, I'm not going to rip them because, you said, NXT has proven themselves in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Kushida versus Raul Mendoza. Tuck, were you able to catch that one?
Yes.
Thoughts?
I thought it was okay, and it happened. That was about it. No big takeaways for me. I noticed the Kushida rumors for the glitch thing after, but
so where did you see those? Was that on Twitter?
Yeah, no, one of the accounts I follow on Facebook.
Okay.
Something ringside something.
I just don't think he's big enough, a big enough name.
I also agree, and seeing the rumor pop up and then kind of referencing that last Kushida match, Kushida looked good. They made him look good, but like enough.
That's all it was. It was a short match. I mean, I'm sure if you gave these guys some time, it'd be an entertaining cruiserweight type matchup. But they didn't give him that, and Kushida gets the win very quickly. Once again, it happened. After that, Rhea Ripley, the NXT Women's Champion, would come out, cutting a promo because we know she's going to be facing Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Charlotte, then, of course, she's got to come out. The fans, of course, got to rip into her because she doesn't go here anymore.
Yes.
Go back to Raw, Charlotte. We don't like you. She ends up attacking Rhea Ripley, wrapping her around the ring post, targeting the knee, just getting more of that heat from the NXT crowd going into their match at WrestleMania.
Yep.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you think they've booked this match specifically? I'm very curious on what you have to say about this.
I think it's fine. I'm not dying to see it, honestly.
Yep.
You know, again, my takeaway was like, I think Charlotte Flair should have been introduced at the TakeOver and kind of I thought that would be a good pop.
Just show up after the match unannounced.
They had Bianca Belair pop in and out for a little while as a thing. And, you know, I'm fine. I actually look more forward to the Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler one.
1 out of 10, then.
7.5.
Well, that's actually higher than I was expecting.
I think it's fair. I don't think it's the shits, but I think it's okay.
Aaron, what do you think?
It's just weird to me. Like, I'm not really buying into the animosity between the two. Like, I don't know how I feel about Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble than challenging the NXT champion.
I mean, who would you want her to challenge?
Well, just don't ever win the Royal Rumble. Period.
What the hell is going on with the Bayley's Championship?
Yeah, exactly. So who knows?
Talk seriously. What's going on with the SmackDown Women's Championship?
Yeah, you know, it's the Bayley is
and there's talking SmackDown Women's Championship
talk. Yeah,
but no. What do you think about the build to this?
I haven't really liked it. I mean, I'm not really buying into it that much. I mean, obviously, Charlotte is who she is. I mean, and you know, we share the same opinion that she's the greatest of all time already.
GOAT. Put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah, she's great. So you would think someone of her stature challenging the NXT champion, it would just, I don't know. I feel like I just need more. And they
give me a number.
Time.
1 to 10.
Give
me a number.
I'm gonna say 5.
I was gonna say 5.
I'm like,
My reasoning behind this is it just feels like your prototypical star versus the young prodigy feud. Yeah. You got that established star, the cocky one, the heel, the one that's going to get the heat. Everybody wants to see this young up-and-comer come out and win and beat her at the grandest stage of them all, but there's no substance to it. That's all it is that it's an underdog that's a champion in an underdog show going against one of the greatest of all time.
Right, and I think that's what you get with just having Charlotte just wins the Royal Rumble and she just goes and faces the NXT champion.
Because, how do you build
there's no substance there. I mean, it's just they're two totally different brands, two people that have no connection to one another. So it's just tough. But, I mean, obviously we all know that the whole point of this is to build Rhea Ripley, over. Which, if you know,
I think she wins at WrestleMania.
Oh, I would agree. I mean, I don't think they would put the two together unless she were to win. They obviously see something in her, and they want to give her a huge push, and there is nobody you could get a bigger push than Charlotte.
That's right. I mean, it'll give you a good match.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
I think it will.
There's no doubt about that, but sometimes you need that build, Tuck.
Yeah, I do think a lot of the matches on the WrestleMania card have potential to be solid.
No, I agree. I think the card's great.
Oh, and I really like the builds, too. I really do. I mean, obviously, we talked about Randy Orton and Edge.
Who?
Is that Reggie?
Reggie Oxenford?
After that promo Styles gave on The Undertaker, that's gained some real traction. I mean, obviously, Cena and The Fiend, just seeing John Cena back in The Fiend just being as odd as he is. I mean, Roman Goldberg, we could go on all day about that.
We'll have our own WrestleMania show. Big if. This title of this show should be If WrestleMania Happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff that happened, another ladder match qualifier. Did you see this one?
With Tegan Nox?
Tegan and Deonna Purrazzo?
Hey.
My girl got a win.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yep.
Very short. It was weird because I thought it was actually going to be a good match because both of them are good wrestlers, but it felt like a squash.
Yeah, it was interesting booking there. I think I always see when you introduce ladders, it's like, okay, here, chance for a banger, but nope.
Well, she'll be in that ladder match with Chelsea Green and Mia Yim now. There's still 3 more spots. Out of those 3 names right there, which name pops out to you as a possible winner?
Chelsea Green. Give me the Robert Stone brand. Yep.
Is it mainly because she's the heel?
Yeah, I think so.
Out of those 3, Chelsea Green, Mia Yim, and Tegan Knox, who do you think has the best odds?
Well, it'd have to be Chelsea Green because, if we believe that Rhea Ripley's going to retain,
true,
then, you're not going to put her against a face. So, I guess,
if you're going to pick a face, I would say Tegan. But then again, she just lost to Dakota. So.
She's right. It's weird.
Dakota would be the one that would make sense.
Right.
She's got to find a way in.
Because, she's got it, and she's got to win. But maybe they could go. They could go. Isn't Bianca kind of a face?
She's a tweener.
So, I guess maybe, but
she plays the heel more than the face. If you're going off of tag
true.
matches and whatnot, but I don't know. They can go either way with Bianca for sure. But that's the way the ladder match looks right now. After that, we would get the NXT Tag Team Championship matchup between the Broserweight, and the Undisputed Era. The Dream would attack Adam Cole before this match, Tuck.
Yeah.
Take him out of the equation.
Bye.
O'Reilly, Fish, they're flustered going into the start of their championship match.
Yeah. Yeah. And I knew we probably weren't going to get takeover type heat like a great match like we had, but I was still entertained by it.
It was good. I think that's the fair take. And like you said, not as good as their takeover match, but
it was the match of the night, right?
On NXT, match. Yeah, I would definitely say. I wouldn't say segment because we'll get to the next segment that I really enjoyed. But the match quality was solid. The Grizzled Young Veterans, once again, they tried interrupting, always poking their,
the GYV, as we call them now.
Is that what we call them?
They called them that once.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I guess it is a thing. Sorry for But that interruption wasn't enough to prevent the Broserweights from retaining this one. Good, not great. It kind of puts the Undisputed Era on the hot seat. Like, what's next for this?
It did make the Broserweights look a little bit smart when they outsmarted the Undisputed Era and got them bounced.
It's very interesting, though, because the Broserweights technically are just 2 single guys together, and the Undisputed Era is a very established team.
Yeah.
2 straight losses. It's got to put them out of the title picture. What's next for the Undisputed Era, Aaron?
You would got to think...
You would got to think.
You've got to think. You have to think that a main roster spot is lurking because I know Kyle and I have talked about it. You would think Velveteen Dream is poised to break Adam Cole's record here and win the NXT championship, but maybe not. I guess we'll find out. But you would think, if you take the titles off all of them, you got most of them losing, you would think that a main roster spot, they might have something planned for him down the line to come up and start wreaking havoc on one of the brands. But, you can't keep him on top forever. I think you could only go so much, and I think they've done a good job. And, Adam Cole's about to be the longest reigning NXT champion in history.
I think it'll be next Tuesday.
He's got a celebration planned for next week.
Yeah, so it's going to
run
out of steam.
No. Cheap flights, we want.
Ooh, I'm not going to Vegas anymore. Aaron, we're going to the celebration. We're going to go celebrate with Adam Cole, baby.
All right, cancel this week of school. We're out, boys.
We're
flying to Florida for $40 a pop.
Adam Cole, if you're listening, and if you want to just fly us out there, we'll come.
We will. We'll cover the whole thing. We'll interview.
Yeah, we'll do all the interviews. Yeah. Tegan, if you're listening, I'll talk to you. I had to watch my words there.
With you, dude.
The final segment, though, of NXT this week would basically just be a brawl between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. And I was watching this, very interested in it. A lot of cool spots in this. They're going throughout the whole Performance Center. And it just shows you, Tuck, that sometimes you just don't need words to tell a story.
Right, I agree with that. And, that spot's also a little showcase for the Performance Center to show how nice it is. Like, it honestly could be a little bit of a recruiting pitch to people that are on the fence, maybe between AEW and signing with WWE. Great facilities. They spared no expense in the brawl, too.
Yeah.
They, here's this place that we have established. It's our foundation for the younger guys.
Our mirrors for a gym.
Go ahead and smash this mirror real quick. Just throw, and, how many extra posters do they have? They were smashing those. Yeah. It was cool that you could tell that they were go get it.
They were having fun too.
Yeah.
They had plates, weight plates and laptops and everything. But Ciampa at the end would hit that pile driver when Johnny got a little too comfortable up there on the top of the stage. through the announce table to close out the show. Aaron, what did you think of this closing out this week's NXT?
Oh yeah, it was dope. I mean, they were just tearing that place apart. Clearly, Triple H was like, "Listen, just do whatever.
Yeah,
no expense. Just do
I'll
whatever.
write it off, boys. Go get it.
We'll put it on the Amex."
I mean, these guys have so much history that this was something. I guess I mean, kind of say it was newer, fresh. It was just something that where it was just like these are two guys that sometimes love each other and sometimes just hate each other, and at this point they hate each other and they're just tearing each other apart. I think it just adds to the storyline and continue the build. I mean, it was dope. I mean, he threw him through the freaking window. Ciampa went right through the freaking window.
And a lot of people say from the window to the wall, and
to the sweat dropped down Gargano's balls.
They've had it was all of that.
Yeah, there probably was.
Yes.
All that. I thought it was interesting, though. Not another NXT, no Finn Balor. I know he's feuding with Walter in UK, but it still feels weird you're not showing me that feud, and I have to go watch it at 2 p.m. on a... Is it... What day is it on? Wednesdays?
Yeah.
I think it is on Wednesdays.
Thursday?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe Thursdays, yeah, but... Guys, it's Finn Balor. I want to see him, but you got to go search for him from the UK, but...
Yeah, I don't know what... I mean, obviously having a feud with Walter, but at the same time, it's just like, he's like the most established guy there, you would imagine. I mean, he's been on the
100%.
main roster. He won the Universal Championship briefly.
A day.
Yeah, before he tore his labrum. But
R.I.P.
But yeah, it is a little strange. I wonder if they want him to sort of become a catalyst for the UK stuff over there. I don't know if they're trying to make that a little more relevant.
I think they are,
viewership, and by putting someone that most WWE fans know, if not all.
I was going to say all WWE fans probably know who Finn Balor is.
So that's the point. So you would expect him to beat Walter for that championship, you would imagine.
I would.
In a great match.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That will tear down the house.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to save that for a UK takeover. I don't know if they're doing one.
You know what would be dope, too, is if Finn wins and Dream wins, and then they have a feud between those two for, just on some fucking pay-per-view. I mean, you don't have to be for the belts to combine them or anything, but champ versus champ.
It's a feud that could work.
Worlds collide.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I think it could work.
Worlds collide.
Yeah.
There it is.
Now, here's my question.
I have an answer.
Of all the wrestlers current,
Yep.
all brands that you're aware of, what wrestler do you select to defeat the coronavirus?
Brock Lesnar.
I knew we were going to get one of those.
Otis. He'll eat it.
Now we're talking.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Oh, yeah, Ducky!
He can't even beat Dolph Ziggler, let alone beat
Come on, man.
let alone beat the coronavirus.
Come on, man.
Maybe Tucky could do it. How about that spot in Elimination
Come
Chamber?
on.
People are sleeping on Tuck.
You're not telling me nothing. You're not telling me nothing.
We have.
I thought you had something to say.
Wow. I'm just looking.
Probably Goldberg, right?
Someone else famous might have the coronavirus.
Oh, Charles Barkley. I saw it. Yeah. Charles Barkley might have the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Come on.
We're going to lose Tom Hanks.
Man, that coronavirus is the knucklehead. I'll tell you
Oh,
what.
my gosh. It's not going to kill any. Well, it's
That coronavirus is just
You're
terrible.
young, you're healthy, you'll be all right.
You'll be fine.
If Rats players in the NBA would just keep their hands to themselves.
Come on.
Get your shit together.
Guys, the new sport of the summer might be darts.
Or badminton, like Tuck was saying.
Darts is taking over. You see these
Yeah.
crowds? It's electric.
Yeah.
Darts is taking
And then bocce ball's another big one.
Oh, yeah, that is taking off.
Guys, we're just going to have to start looking at the different sports. Maybe some pool.
Bags, a.k.a. cornhole.
Ooh.
Well, no
cornhole?
bags. A lot of people touching the bags.
yeah.
So, so you're dead.
Probably not a good
Bowling, you never touch anything dirty there.
No, that's a good one. With the shoes and it's nice.
Right.
Darts, you're only touching your darts.
Yeah.
That's
You
a
can
nice
sanitize those
isolated. Yeah,
All right.
darts it is.
Darts.
Keep an eye on darts. If WrestleMania gets canceled, just turn on the TV and go to darts.
Yeah.
Dart Boy Liarda.
Honestly, ESPN is going to have nothing to air. Just start throwing on the weird sports again.
Let's throw on wiffle ball.
Like 8 week
Leroy Wiffle.
ESPN
Sponsor of the Overtime
Ocho
Sport
for 8 weeks.
Yeah, just let's start getting into the sports that don't get the spotlight.
Yeah.
Wiffle ball. Telling you.
No,
It's
you know
fine.
they're going to play the iconic games from each sport: the flu game, the George Brett Pine-Tar game, like that kind of stuff. And it's just gonna
David Freese's walk-off in Game 6 of the 2011 World Series.
wouldn't be a bad one.
That's one of my favorite games of all time. But we're not here to talk about the best games of all time. We're here to talk about Wednesday Night Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
I couldn't be more happy.
The first matchup would be Ortiz versus Cody. And we'd see an interesting character ringside, Tucky. Jake Roberts would show up ringside with the newly signed Lance Archer. So is that the dark side that Jake was talking about last week?
Oh, yeah, that's the client, baby.
You don't know anything about Archer, do you?
From listening to JR and Excalibur, he is a superstar. He is a killer. They put him over well. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Crowd was hot. They always are for Cody matches because
Yep.
probably the biggest babyface right now in professional wrestling. Match was solid, and we're going to say that a lot because it's true. This was a very solid wrestling match. Cody finished Ortiz, though, with a relatively simple submission move, which I found to be very interesting. I've never seen Cody pull out a submission move, and it wasn't really an important one.
Well, you're using that to segue into the rules for Blood and Guts.
Oh, okay.
You know, they did pay homage to that a very clean, simple finisher. It could be something like that gets it done at Blood and Guts, where you have to tap out or quit or surrender. Submit or surrender. Yep.
Okay, I didn't really think about that. Way to actually incorporate storytelling into this. I appreciate that.
By God,
talks you to this noggin. But after the match, they'd cut to the Tron. You would see Nick Jackson laid out by the inner circle underneath the garage. Looked like he was about to get decapitated.
How heavy was that door, though?
I mean, who knows?
Only Nick Jackson knows.
Right. Yeah, only he knows.
But, so the inner circle, they take out Nick Jackson. He gets sent to the hospital. Aaron, I know you really only saw a little bit of the match, but with the inner circle getting the upper hand once again here, taking out one half of the Young Bucks, what do you think of this?
I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, you got the heel group, doing their thing, taking out a member of the face group.
The Elite.
Yeah, of the Elite. So, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's interesting. I guess I've never seen somebody's head, in between the cement and like garage metal door. So
between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting.
Well, concrete is a rock.
Yeah, told you.
Hey, it's just the heel group doing heel things, so it made sense.
It be like that sometimes.
Yeah, be like B. Priestley. Is that what you're getting at?
Nope.
No. I think that's why you said that.
That's not what you're getting at.
Is it B? It's B. Priestley, right?
Yeah, it's got the A.
Yeah, that's why I kind of questioned. Was it Bay?
Hey, what up, Bay?
Hey, what up, Bay Priestley? She tagged with Nyla Rose after that to face off against Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. It's your standard tag match that you're going to get in the women's division. Nothing great, nothing bad this time. Nyla Rose gets the pin over Shida. I found that to be interesting because wasn't she the number one contender going into that match?
Yep. You had the 1 and 3 with Statlander and Shida. So
and B wasn't even ranked.
Oh no.
So she gets the win over Shida. Do you think that affects her rankings? Like, does that move her down a couple notches?
I'm sure it will.
And then B. Priestley after would attack Nyla after just tagging with her and hold up the belt. We've seen Britt Baker kind of, dip her feet into that pool a little bit. Big Swole was a part of that too.
Yeah, about 2 minutes. Yep.
Who's next for Nyla Rose?
Yeah, wow, what a question.
Aaron, I know you didn't watch this, so you really don't have much to say, but it goes back to our criticism we've had since the day one, the women's division.
I don't care.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't care.
I care about Britt Baker, but that's about it.
She's on your door, isn't she?
She is on my door. Yeah. I got those posters at Dynamite. But Aaron, I mean, there's really not much you could say here.
No, I mean, I think you can just reiterate the point that the women's division is definitely lacking in AEW. I mean, I didn't even know Nyla Rose was transgender.
Yeah, I told him that today. He goes,
"What?"
I had no idea. I mean, I tune in every now and again to AEW. I try and watch, but I had no idea. Kyle's like, she's transgender. I was like, what? And then when you actually look about it, you're like, all right, I guess that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
But I had no idea. I literally no idea.
She won the championship. They made a huge deal about her.
I follow so many people wrestling on Twitter, and I've never seen it. Unless I totally missed it. Because I'm sure somebody has mentioned it when she won, that she's the first champion. I'm sure somebody mentioned it and I missed it, but yeah, I had no idea. I had none.
If you have to place a $5 bet right now, who's the next AEW Women's Champion?
Ooh.
You got to give me something.
Come on.
I'll give you mine. It's probably obvious.
You're going to go Britt Baker?
No.
I'm
thinking from the way we've been booking stuff.
Okay, you're going to go with Emi Sakura?
What? Can we go one episode without you bringing up Emi Sakura?
You know we can't, man. Sarah Logan and Emi Sakura, they got a special place in my heart.
Big Swole.
Okay.
I think we're starting to get somewhere with her.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander's wife.
No, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that. They referenced that in the promo.
Wow.
And you know how she said "baby" after that with something.
Okay, yeah.
They kind of were poking at their
the next
WWE
women's
husbands.
champion will be a contender you have not heard yet.
Oh,
that's my guess because I don't give a shit.
Maybe it's a current WWE superstar.
Ooh. Natalia.
Sarah Logan.
Oh, don't you dare!
don't take her away from me.
Dana Brooke.
People are asking.
Are they actually asking?
No. Yeah, no, they're not. They're not for 1 second are they asking about Dana Brooke.
Definitely not.
Okay.
They might be asking about the Butcher and the Blade, though, because they teamed up with MJF to take on the Jurassic Express. The heels, they basically spent most of the beginning of this match isolating Luchasaurus, who's the big guy, the star of the Jurassic Express. Overall thoughts on this one, Ducky?
It was okay. I wasn't over the moon about it. It was fun to see MJF actually tag with the henchman that he kind of brought in.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. See, I'm not even thinking about that stuff he kind of brought Butcher and the Blade in. Okay, that makes sense. Aaron,
we saw their debut. People forget.
Oh yeah, we were there live for the Butcher and the Blade
through the ring. Yeah,
debut.
I just can't get over the fact that the Butcher is have you seen the guy?
Yeah.
I don't mean to body shame, but it's like, what? The guy looks like the villain from Sonic that dude that just sits up in that machine.
He's stronger than that dude. That guy.
I know he's. I'm sure he's deceivingly athletic and strong, whatever. But it's just the look I just can't buy into. But whatever. I mean, I like MJF. He's a real heel. I mean, you don't really get to see those nowadays, especially kind of in the
area we live
in that you're used to.
Bigger heel, coronavirus or MJF?
No, coronavirus. Coronavirus canceled everything. So that's the biggest heel move of all time. But
actually, it's true.
But I'm not surprised that they won. I mean, yeah, like Kyle said, they kind of just singled out the Luchasaurus. And
there was this spot, and I kind of pointed it out to Aaron Tuck. There was a delayed count when Marco and Jungle Boy, they were trying to work out a spot with the Butcher where Butcher was supposed to throw Marco to break up the count. She hit 1. She hit 2. We had a delay for about a second and a half. She never hit 3.
Weird.
And you felt the energy of the crowd go silent.
Like kind of like they're just stumbling. Like they tripped. Like we got it. Yeah.
There's supposed to be a count there. And that kind of, I wouldn't say ruin it because I still somewhat enjoyed it. Because every time Jurassic Express comes out there, I enjoy them. They're very entertaining and they have good spots. But that's something that I noticed, something that threw me off a little bit. But MJF would force Marco to tap out, giving his team the win. MJF now 8-1 in 2020, Tuck. Next AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Could be.
I mean, you have to give it a little time, but you would think that he's the front runner. I mean, there's no bigger heel in the company, I would say, right now.
And also going into, was it Guts and Glory? Is that what we're calling that?
Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts, yeah. That was Guts and Glory.
Guts and the glory.
Oh, bask in its glory.
It's the guts and the glory.
Moxley doesn't have anything for that show. It's the Inner Circle versus the Elite. Moxley needs a match. Or maybe they're not going to do it. I don't know. It seems like a big show, ain't it?
Yeah, but because you have the Guts and the glory.
I'm just saying. MJF, I can't think of anybody else to face Moxley right now. Can you?
I would agree.
No.
Exactly. Sean Spears?
10. Come on, man.
Did you apply to be his tag team partner on Twitter? He's doing like a video submission thing.
Oh.
Yeah, you tagging with Spears?
Bro. No. You're my tag team
T-Walk
partner.
tagging with Spears.
T-Walk's going to get booed out of the arena when he makes an appearance in CPWF. There's rumblings. Just saying. After that, Britt Baker would come out. She basically does a weekly promo now with Tony Schiavone on top of the ring and on top of the stage. Gives Tony his coffee, rips the Utah crowd. That's what she's been doing. I don't know about you, Tuck, but we're going to get to a point where these segments, these specific promos every single week, they're going to get old.
I'm kind of there.
Already?
Honestly, yeah. Let's get her mixing it up.
I just don't think they know what to do because Nyla's the champ.
Right.
Like, what can you do with Britt right now?
Yep. Big Swole?
Big Swole would come out, interrupt, and like we said, they made some comments about their husbands and boyfriends and whatnot. Britt throws coffee at Big Swole. Maybe next week we get Big Swole versus Britt Baker, number 1 contenders match.
Maybe next week. Yeah. Oh, we are getting the show. It's just not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the show is in Jacksonville somewhere that they've been before. But yeah, women's division, I think it should be ran by Britt Baker. She's still not there yet. We get the same promo. Time to switch things up a little bit here, boys. That's all I'm saying. After that, the Death Triangle, the newly formed group that Aaron really didn't even know about because he didn't watch last week, which is the Lucha Bros and Pac versus Private Party and Joey Janela. Aaron, what do you think of the Death Triangle? I know this is new to you.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I like, what's it, Pac? I don't know if
Pac.
JR call him a bunch of different things, but it was just weird because, I mean, coming into the show, I didn't know that it was happening because I just watched today, and it was just like, with his persona, just like tagging with somebody, it was just kind of weird. But I mean, those are three really good wrestlers right there, so I'm sure that they can make something of it. And then obviously, like Private Party, they're great.
We haven't seen a lot of Private Party, and they're just super innovative, fun to watch. And I know, and you even said it too. We get the comparison a lot. They're like the Street Profits,
right? But probably more athletic, just because. I don't know the dude's name, but he's definitely not a bigger guy. They're like the same.
Angelo Dawkins, the bigger one in Street Profits. Yeah.
So the other two in Private Party can do a little more stuff together. But
what's their names? Mark Quinn and Q. Is that the two's name in the Private Party?
No idea. I don't even care.
Come on, know your Private Party, Tug.
I just
stop fucking around.
It is my favorite finisher from a tag team, though.
What is it? Gin and
Juice. You don't see the guest list, so we don't know the names.
Well, the song goes, "It's a private party, and you're all invited." I think that's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's invited.
Well, then you're invited.
Party.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
maybe. Would you rather go? Here we go. Adam Cole's celebration or a private party?
Private party, 100%.
Here's my question: if everybody's invited, why do they have someone? Like, why do they have to pay to let someone in the box?
That's true. They have the thing.
That didn't make any sense.
They unclip.
Well, the capacity. If everyone's invited, the building only holds so many people.
Oh, yeah, you got to keep it under 300 because of coronavirus.
Well, and then you got to, there's that.
Yeah,
connecting the dots. That's why they're a private party.
Yeah.
We figured it out. But Private Party and Joey Janela, they had a good showing in this one. This is probably the best I've seen of Joey Janela.
Oh, Gagliardi's getting a T-shirt.
I'm not like you that has a Joey Janela T-shirt.
I don't have one.
Oh, I thought you did, you dumb Mark.
I jumped off the bandwagon a couple weeks back.
Okay. All right. Well, this was my favorite showing of his.
1 foot back on the boat for Jimmy.
Sure. What do you think of his performance?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Made sense to have Death Triangle win, because they're a faction now, these three.
Another heel faction.
Yeah, because you can't have enough.
That's what they say. That is what they say. Yes. But no, Death Triangle took control late, get the win. Pac hits his finisher, the Dark Arrow, Black Arrow. Why do I always forget what it's called? It used to be the Red Arrow, but I think they changed it because you can't call it that since they're not in WWE. But
right.
It's something with an arrow involved. I don't know if we're introducing new tag belts because there's always companies that do 3-man tag belts.
Ooh.
Because we've seen a lot of that now. We're seeing this 3 pairs, the Jurassic Express, and now the Death Triangle. The Elite could be a group. The Inner Circle can have 3 that compete.
Yeah.
I'd rather see like a mid-card title.
Yeah,
You think they need that?
Ready. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What would you call it?
The Darby Allin Championship title.
Oh,
give it to me.
Aaron, what do you think? They need another belt in AEW?
No, yeah, definitely. I would agree.
What do you call it though?
I'd say like the junior weight.
Junior weight.
It's like a lesser, and I know New Japan does something like that. It's not like a weight specific belt, but like it's just considered junior because it's a minor belt. Maybe they could do something like that.
The Almost Elite title.
Yep.
Kind of elite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But I think a guy like Darby Allin is honestly too big for that.
Nope.
I think he is.
Okay, who do you give it to then?
Jungle Boy?
Get out of here.
Sammy?
I want to see him win.
Sammy Guevara? See?
I'd be in for that.
I'd be more down for Sammy over Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Come on, are you hating on Jungle Boy?
I'm not.
Jake Hager would be a good one too, even though they look like he might be building up for a main event.
Yeah, I think he might be a little too big too.
Hager and Mox.
Who would ever thought that Hager would be big?
Yeah.
He was a world champion in WWE.
He cashed his Money in the Bank contract.
Cody?
And what else is Cody doing?
Can't win the world title.
That'd be a good first junior weight champion. Cody?
Yeah, I mean, he's on fire right now, so if you want to put it on at least somebody to give it
I wouldn't say he's on fire. He just lost to MJF.
Well, I mean, in terms of just
crowd reaction.
Him himself. So
Yeah.
If you want to add credibility to it right away just to get the thing started, I would put it on him. That would make sense.
Yeah.
I could even see them put it on Dustin if they really wanted to.
Regardless, I think they need another belt. That or another show. Figure it out, AEW.
Yeah.
But the main event would be Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara of the Inner Circle taking on Hangman Page, one half of the tag team champions, and he couldn't team with Kenny because Kenny broke his wrist. So he gets Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
And what is a Hangman Page match without a little beer?
Nothing.
Jericho's the one that brought it in. Did you notice that?
Oh, no.
He brought in the beer. He starts sipping it a little bit, and then somehow Hangman ended up grabbing the beer from him in one of those spots.
Give me that.
And then drank it, and then Sammy took his face off. I thought that was pretty good. But the match, once again, here we go with this word. The word of the day is solid. Everybody at once. Solid. And accurate description, I would say. Hangman gets the win. The Inner Circle starts their usual post-match beatdown that they do. Kenny comes out. We've seen this pattern before, Tuck, where the Inner Circle starts beating people down. Kenny comes out with his broken hand. Then Cody's back from the hospital somehow after an hour. He really, what a recovery time for that. And also, Matt Jackson was there as well, back from the hospital. Obviously didn't care enough about his brother.
Yeah.
But
Artsimo?
I don't know. I'm starting to see a pattern. We start off with Inner Circle doing something. The show ends with the Inner Circle coming out on top.
Yep. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Is it getting broke, though?
A little bit. A little predictable, but
honestly,
it's not
I think
bad.
what they're doing, I think they're trying to promote them so much because what the challenge AEW has right now is they have to create their own stars organically unless they bring somebody in. So a guy like, even though Jake Hager has experience with WWE, he wasn't very big, so they've got to build him up. Sammy Guevara, they got to build him up. Yeah. And so I think the best way to do that is put him in the most notorious group that they've got going right now. Granted, they haven't
with
been
the biggest name.
With the biggest name in Chris Jericho.
Yep.
I think what they're ultimately trying to do is get them all the exposure, get people ultimately just familiar with them, and so that eventually when it splits up, you can invest into these guys and they can become relevant stars in the company. So I think that's the challenge that AEW has right now, and I think that's ultimately why they're keeping these guys in the group. You could say the same with the Elite. Omega and the Young Bucks are already stars, but I guess Hangman, really, did you before AEW?
They built Hangman into a star.
Exactly, and so that's what I think. By having these factions right now, I think that's ultimately what the plan is to build these people and then go from there. So, I know it probably will get old, and I'm sure they'll notice it at some point, but for now, it's what they have to do. So,
Tuck, any thoughts on this main event here of AEW's Dynamite?
Nope, not really. We've said it all.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's it? You're a man of few words today.
Yeah, I don't have much to chip it. When you're with such great commentary, solid
cover.
Solid.
Yep. Also to note, there was one singles match on AEW.
I noticed that too. A lot of 3-mans, a lot of tags.
You think they know their strong suit?
Almost to a fault.
Yeah, I know. It gets to a point, and I think they're trying to get everybody on the card because they only have 2 hours each week to showcase talent.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point. They need to expose as much talent as they can. They can't be like WWE. They have to expose as much talent as they can.
But be more innovative with it.
Yeah,
do a number one contendership ladder match or something like that.
There's options. There are options.
There's routes you can go.
I honestly, I think what their plan is, and you could kind of see it in comparing the two shows. I think they're just trying to do whatever they can to not be like WWE. So, that would kind of be a WWE thing to have like these number one contenders matches.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to do is try and be as far from that as possible because they don't want to try and be what the WWE is because they know, I think, ultimately right now, especially right now, they can't compete with that. So, I think they're just trying to be innovative. WWE, I think, does a very poor job of showing off their tag division.
Very poor.
So I think that's why AEW is doing a good job in doing that. So I don't know. It is what it is.
WWE kills the women's division, bad at tag. AEW, good at tag, bad at the women's division right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
WWE owns
opposite sides of the spectrum for sure. But Tuck, going into this week with their head-to-head, what was it, 11-8?
Yep.
11-8, NXT, AEW. Who's this week's winner? Count us down, Tuck.
3, 2, 1.
NXT. And I don't feel good about it.
I feel fine about it.
No, like I'm saying, like neither show was like great.
Oh, right. No, neither one stole the show, but NXT with the promo at the end. I liked the tag match. I actually liked the Lee and Grimes angle at the beginning to kick off the show.
True.
So I just that's my stop.
We talked about this last week, if not the week before, too. You brought this up. We're on the build to TakeOver. They have that advantage. We're building towards something. AEW is kind of just coasting right now.
Right. They're in a little bit of a holding pattern.
They got that
shuffling
match.
Pieces, trying to figure out what trajectory they want to take to Double or Nothing.
Well, and the problem is they are building to Blood and Guts, which is a big, multiple people in one match. So you only have really one. I mean, it's not one segment, but you're building a lot of what the pay-per-view is just in two factions. So it's not like in NXT you can do Johnny and Ciampa, then you can do Keith Lee. You can do a bunch of different things where you're building a bunch of different things at once, while AEW is just kind of building one big thing between two factions. So
better be good.
Yeah, exactly. The
I think it will.
I also think it will, but
definitely.
there's a little bit of risk there.
Then after that, what do they start building towards? Double or Nothing? Is that the next one?
Mm-hmm.
I would think then you'd have to start really. I mean, if they don't already, they got to start doing something with Ambrose and who he's going to face next.
Moxley, how dare you?
Really?
Oh, sorry. Whoops.
Wow.
Whoops.
Wow. The man's been gone for a year. Get over it.
Whoops. Oh, miss him. Not really, actually. He does better at AEW. But
yeah, he fits the AEW mold.
So then you got that, and that. I'm actually curious what they do with. Now that Jericho's not the champion, I'm actually really curious where they go from there.
Yeah,
because you had Jericho be the champion forever, which made sense totally.
Yeah,
but now that he's kind of out of the title picture, what do you do with him after this big?
He just leads the inner circle. He's just the mouthpiece, the guy, the coach. Anything you need him to be, and he can focus on Fosse stuff because we know.
Get him a laminated play card. Get him out there.
Yeah.
My guess is his job was to get the thing kick-started.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's kind of their own thing. The guy, he still does great, but he's
locker room leader. He's going to be the voice of AEW.
Name you could sell. I'm just curious. I'm just curious of what his commitment is and where it goes after this.
I guess we'll find out because I know he's got a couple-year deal, and then after that, he can make up his mind because he'll probably be in his 50s by then if he's not already there. I'm really not sure, but for this week, Wednesday night, quote-unquote, Wars, NXT gets the win, which makes it 12-8. Once things were starting to get close, Tuck, things started to spread apart again.
Yeah, a little bit of distance. We got towards the middle rounds of the bout where, you could flip the rounds either way. Now NXT's starting to establish a little bit of spacing again. We'll see how AEW responds. You got to think Blood and Guts, they're probably going to take the cake, right? But
you would think. Unless NXT tries to match them with something. Who knows? Because you know how they'll be. But that'd be too close to TakeOver. So they probably wouldn't throw all their eggs in the one basket there. They'd probably just punt and then say, hey, AEW, you can have this week for sure. But, Aaron, any final remarks going on with the landscape of professional wrestling, the coronavirus, anything you want to talk about?
I'm just really curious to see where all of professional wrestling, especially WWE, goes from here. Can they have a normal Raw and SmackDown? My guess is no. So I'm very, very curious to see where they go from here. If you ask me, I think, and it sucks because it's during WrestleMania, the build and all that, I think they just need to shut everything down. Maybe not NXT.
This guy.
But what do? You're just going to have Raw and SmackDown in front of nobody and build a WrestleMania card?
I would gladly go. We could be the two in the crowd that's
us three will go. Two of us will play the face side. One of us will be the heel, or vice versa.
Yeah, we'll both be on the camera side. They can speak the promos to talk to us.
I know you guys could probably deep down agree, but you don't want to admit. WWE. The WrestleMania is getting canceled. It's getting canceled.
I kind of agree.
Let's just be real here. It's going to get canceled.
There's no way.
Well, not canceled.
What the fuck are we supposed to do with our lives if there's no WrestleMania and no sports?
It's going to turn into a Wheelhouse-style podcast where we're going to run a documentary or something, an audio doc or something. But they can't cancel everything. The sports world as we know it is getting canceled, but WWE is immune to it. There's no way because the amount of international travelers that show up to that thing,
a lot
more than anything.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
Who's coming from overseas? Again, there are people coming from overseas to watch March Madness, I'm sure, but like WrestleMania is a week-long event. You go, you start saving up 3-4 years in advance. Like, yeah. That's what sucks.
No, it's. I mean, and you're going to be sitting 70, 80,000 people. I mean, it can't happen. It can't happen. So it simply can't happen. So I'm curious to see. I'm more curious. I mean, I already know that they'll probably push that back. I'm more curious to see what they do on a weekly basis because you can't have normal Raw. You can't have normal SmackDown. Shit, can you even have normal NXT?
Does the longest episodic TV show come to a halt?
Yikes! That would be.
They're going to put something out just to keep it going, but like
something.
Maybe. What do you do? Like, I honestly have no idea what you do.
You can't.
We don't know.
It's happening so quick. You can't even pre-tape shit. Like Christmas is coming. You can pre-tape.
Yeah,
like,
they do it all the time. Yeah,
you're in such a weird spot, and I'm guessing that's obviously what they're talking about now. Like, what do you do? I mean, you could sell. I mean, I don't know how many people show up at those. Well, like that NXT event. How many people were at the Performance Center? I don't know how much.
Only like 200, 300.
Yeah.
So can you still do that? I think you can.
A lot of that's the state of Indiana has taken that hold under 250 with space.
So if you can do that, let's say you can, then you could keep NXT going at least. But I don't know what you do at the main shows. I have no idea. We're obviously going to find out. But
we might find out sooner than later.
That I think is the most curious thing coming on. I mean, because I just know you're going to push WrestleMania out, and that'll be fine. I think you can figure that part out. But I'm curious what they do on a weekly basis.
My proposition is just push WrestleMania back, move it to Indianapolis, and we'll go from there.
Right. Bring the pirate ships. That's fine. I don't care. Drop a pirate ship in. I don't care.
If you ask me, I think WrestleMania because I think you want to keep SummerSlam in August. I think ultimately that's what you want.
You can't have Summer Slam in October.
Exactly. So what I think you need is at least a month in between there. So I think WrestleMania cannot if they can have it before June or in June,
first week of June.
I think you could make that happen because then you could you might have some rematches at SummerSlam. I mean, who knows, but I think if it starts pushing farther into the summer, then you're kind of like, do you even have SummerSlam? Like, what do you do? So I don't know.
Time will tell.
Interesting to see what direction the creative chooses to take.
Imagine having that job.
Nope, don't want to.
There's nothing you can do. I mean, there's really nothing you can do.
That's why it's hard to speculate right now because we don't even know what's going on with the world.
Nobody knows.
You got that right, Ducky.
But you know what people do know?
What do they know?
Where to go to see the Overtime Sports Network, OTSportsNetwork.com, @_OTSN on Twitter.
The Wrestling Sports Network, or the Wrestling Network now. Who cares?
OTSWN, Overtime Sports Wrestling.
We've got wrestling. Oh, no, yes. I can't say it's just wrestling now because Mikey will get butthurt once again.
Hey, Mikey.
Mikey gets butthurt every time there's a tweet out there that doesn't. I'm not talking about Kubaki. It used to be that, Mikey, but now it's Mikey Wilson. Yeah. We know your show's still going on, Region Degenerates.
Mikey Kubaki did tune into an AEW show. And
I saw that. Yeah. He did. Maybe Kubaki's turning into a little AEW mark.
We'll see. Won't be in a podcast to talk about, I'll tell you that.
We'll have him on for sure because he hasn't been on Wheelhouse in a while.
Yep.
That's all I got.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in. We'll see where it goes. Everything's kind of up in the air right now, but we hope to hear from you in about a week or so, and we'll talk to you then. Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter @PodOnTheMark.